What wedding moment made you realize the marriage wouldn't last? I am the mother of the groom, and I remember the first moment something felt wrong. During wedding planning, my future daughter-in-law announced there would be no children at the wedding. At first, that sounded normal, but then we learned she meant only my son's 2 daughters were not allowed to come. Every child from her side of the family was still invited, just not his girls. My son tried to calm everyone down and said she was just stressed, but I watched my granddaughters ask why they couldn't see their dad get married. Seeing him struggle to answer them broke my heart. Then she chose an outdoor ceremony in the mountains of upstate Pennsylvania in late October. It had snowed a few days earlier, and when it melted, everything turned into cold mud. Guests had to rent cabins far away because the venue was hours from home. Everyone arrived tired, cold, and uncomfortable, but we tried to stay positive. The night before the wedding was when things really started to fall apart. The wedding party gathered at my cabin because it was the biggest. The bride's father and stepmother started drinking almost immediately. Soon they were loud, knocking things over, and making a mess while laughing as my elderly mother and I cleaned up after them. Meanwhile, the bride's mother made rude and passive-aggressive comments all night that made everyone tense. At one point, I stood alone in the kitchen looking at muddy footprints across the floor and felt a deep sense of dread. It didn't feel like normal wedding stress. The wedding day itself was freezing. Guests stood outside shivering while their shoes sank into mud. The bride complained about small details while my son looked quiet and exhausted. During the ceremony, I noticed him glance toward the empty seats where his daughters should have been. That moment hurt more than anything else. The reception became chaos. The bride's father was drunk again and suddenly started yelling at my 13-year-old son during the dollar dance because he refused to take a shot of alcohol, a grown man screaming at a child. Instead of calming the situation, the bride became upset and said she felt disrespected and wanted to leave early. The next morning, I quietly told my husband, "This marriage won't last." I hated thinking that about my own child's wedding, but a mother sometimes sees the truth before others do. My son believed things would get better once the stress was over. The marriage lasted 8 months. When my son finally called to tell me it was over, he sounded lighter, almost relieved. The divorce was painful, but the chaos ended. The biggest relief was knowing my granddaughters never had to grow up around that family drama.